Hi guys, this is Arif from TechShare. Today I'm going to share you how can we create our continuous integration and continuous delivery pipelines in Azure DevOps from start to end. So for that, we are going to use Azure DevOps and we are going to deploy our application to Azure. So that's going to be very interesting. So let's jump into the main development. So I already have created a small API here. So let me run this API and see how do we get here, right? So this is a basic simple endpoint that we have inside this sample API where you are gonna get some weather information. So here what you can say Melbourne, this is my city. You will get the weather data of Melbourne. Okay, so I'm using external endpoint API for that. So yeah, I mean, this is basically very simple application that we created here. And now let me share you that that Azure DevOps. So I'm using Azure DevOps here, and the repository we are using here, this weather service API, right? So you can see here I already pushed the changes here. So now we are going to do a couple of things. So we are going to configure our CI here, CD also here, and then we also need a app service in the Azure. So let's go and jump into that section first. So in the app service, what we are going to do is we are going to create an app service now. For that, we are going to use this create button, and then it's very simple. So I'm going to use my Visual Studio subscription. So I'm going to use my whatever the default resource group I have, or even I can create a new one, doesn't matter. And then here app name I'll say weather service API, and then weather service API is not available, so we can say application app weather service API. Okay, the name is a bit weird, but yeah, we can take this one. We are going to use code. We are not going to use any Docker container. And for the runtime, let me select this .NET framework, whatever we can take, but yeah, I'm gonna take this. So the project we are using here, let me go here. So we are using .NET Core App 3.1. okay, so for if you want to compare that on, then we can select here is .NET Core 3.1 as well. And here I'm gonna use Australia West, so it's going to be Australia Southeast. Yeah, and now here, okay, I think everything is there. Let me review and create. So yeah, it's gonna take a bit time to create that, but let me just create it. And now while it is being created, let me go here in the DevOps section. So here you can see this is our repository, and you will also see there is a pipeline as well here. So in the pipeline, our target would be to create the CI first. CI is continuous integration, which will actually allow us to build the system, build the solution as we commit. And then once the build is ready, right, so we can configure the deployment part with that kind of continuous delivery. But my idea would be not to do that in that continuous integration section, but we are going to do that in a separate sort of pipelines. So yeah, so let me see. Yeah, the resource is ready now. Once the resource is ready, we can even browse that resource as well. You can see here, this is my resource endpoint, the app endpoint. Now here we are going to create the pipeline straight away. So we'll create the pipeline here, and it will ask me to put the repository first. So obviously our repository here is Azure repos git. Where is your code? So my code is here, so I can use that on. This is my repository, and straight away we need to configure the framework that I used here. So here it is ASP.NET Core, right? So it's not a .NET but .NET Core. So I'm gonna select that on, and then it will ask me, okay, so this is my pipeline basically. So that pipeline is straight away ready for us to use, right? So here couple of things we need to we need to see here. So first of all, you will see that this is the trigger main and this is a pool VM image. This is the image they're gonna use, and then a couple of steps they have. So here the thing we need to consider here is this build arguments. So when it will use the ms build, it will take this arguments from here, and then you will also see that what would be my application zip file and everything. So what I'll do here, and also this one, deploy IIS app path. Okay, those are sort of pretty important. So how can we find everything here? So let me do one thing. Let's go here, and what I'll do is, this is my weather API. So I'll take this weather API, and what I'm gonna do is I'm going to use this weather API.zip file here. This is the first sense I'm making, and another is deploy as app path. So this is saying default website. We are not going to use the default website, so we need to find out what we have here. So if you go here and so this is our app service, app weather service API. So that's going to be my, I guess, this deploy IIS app path. Okay, so this is not going to be a default website. So just in order to be 100% sure, let me go here, this console, well, not console, let's go to the advanced tool first, and then from there I'm going to use my account, and I'm going to see the folder structure and everything where we are going to deploy. This is also important that you open that thing and just have a look what we have here. So here you will see we have a site, and in the site we have a www root, and basically it is empty. So we will keep looking here, and here we can say with the service API, right? And then let me see what else we have. Okay, now very interesting thing is, so what we can do is we can create another sort of steps here. So for continuous delivery, so for that, what we need to do, we need to configure the task here. You can use the Azure App Service deploy task here, so that you can create your zip archive task here. So you will zip it and you will then deploy it. So you will do a lot of different things, but we will actually keep this one so simple. So we are not going to task here, and we are going to modify this file as less as possible. So now what we are going to do is, so I really don't see anything to change here. So I'm gonna save and run and see how it works. So let's save and run and see whether my CI is working or not. So let's go here and check the different steps that it has. So you can see here it started the job already, and job is in progress now. Just give it some time, and yeah, you can see here the job is now initializing. It is downloading all the necessary things, then it will connect to our source code checkout basically, and then it will do the NuGet restore and all the necessary NuGet command that we need, and then it will build, and then if we have any test, then it will execute the test, and that's it basically. So if you remember, so our ms build basically create a zip file. I already showed you before. So we need to take that zip file. So here you'll see here weather service, and then you'll see okay, so that's that, and ms build. Yeah, so in the ms build you will see this is actually building, right? So we actually need an artifact. That artifact is important. So here you will see we have a package.zip is successfully created as a single file at the following location. This is important. So this is my location where we already have a weather API.zip file. and this weather API.zip something we are going to use and we are going to deploy as a part of our continuous delivery. So far you can actually do a lot of different things here. It is completely customizable. Thousands of different tasks are already there in Azure. Even you can install a lot of the different tasks from the marketplace, but my intention is to give you some idea and how easily you can actually configure those things. So since your pipeline is ready, right, and it already created some zip file, so let me go here and let's jump into the release section. So this is our CI basically, and now we are going to deploy this API to our Azure App Service. So in the release is something where we are going to configure our CD pipeline. So we are going to create a new release here, and then you'll see here it is asking me what I need to do now. So I can straight away say Azure App Service deployment, right? I can also say many different things. I can say, okay, since we have already a zip file, let's unzip it. So there is a extract task as well, and we can put a folder here to extract the zip content, and from there we can use a FTP upload task. Through that we can upload all our unzipped content to our app service. So when you go to the app service, then you will see some settings. So let me go here. This is also important to show. So in the app service we have, if you go here, this where is it, 1 second, this deployment center, then you will see some settings which is important. So here you will see the FTP credentials, and that FTP credentials that system, this app service generated in order to communicate, to do the web jobs. So this FTP credential we can supply to the FTP upload file task, and we can straight away whatever the artifacts we have unzipped, we can push it there, and that is basically it. And you can configure to run that CD in a way that every time if there is any changes in your build, new build coming, that thing will trigger automatically and deploy, and your application will be ready to go. So yeah, so a lot of things we can do. I think the better would be, I'll show you today. I think the easiest is this deploy to app service deployment. I really did not use this Azure App Service deployment, so I'll try first, and then if I find any difficulty, probably I'll use the other technique, but let's do this. So now I have already a task called stage 1. So let me modify this name to say production deployment, right? And then here it has a task, and then here you will see it is asking me, so deploy Azure App Service, and then you need to connect to your app service, right? So for that, what you can do is you can say there are different connection type. You can use publish profile. So what is publish profile? So you have this application here. So what you can do is you can select this one and you can click this publish right here, and then you can create eventually a publish profile, and you can commit that profile, and from there you can actually use and tell that, okay, we already have a publish profile committed in the source control. Use that publish profile and deploy that application. As simple as that. So we can do definitely that. This is not a very complex thing. You can definitely go with that approach, because I feel this is the easiest way. But today what we are gonna do is we'll try this Azure Resource Manager and see if we have anything here. So it's a manage, create a service connection, and then we'll say Azure Classic or Azure Resource Manager. I don't know what would be our best. Maybe I'll use Azure Classic. Never tried before, I told you. And then here we'll say Azure Cloud subscription name, blah blah blah. Okay, let's go here. Let's try Azure Resource Manager, and then here it's a service principal automatic. Let's go here, and then it is trying to load the subscription, which is good. Let's wait for a while here, and then we'll see what we can do here. Okay, awesome. So it's automatically loading my Visual Studio subscription. There is a resource group. We have this resource group that actually we used under our app service, and we need to use the service connection name. So we'll say connect to weather service app. Well, and this is a name, so name should be should not be this connect weather service app, or we can weather service app connection, I think would be more appropriate. Weather service app connection, and here we will say connect to weather service app. What do you think? Okay, now grant access permission to all pipelines. Okay, I'll go with that and I'll save it. I never use this approach, I told you before. So I normally use the easiest one is to use the extract task, get it there, and use the FTP upload to upload those things, whatever the artifact that you have. Another thing is to use that publish profile, which is also really easy. I also use that one as well. So this connection is ready to go. So now, since the connection is ready, then we'll say here that do we have any connection or not, right? So let me select this one, and okay, awesome. Let me refresh this thing, or say connect. How can I? Okay, publish profile, and then select this one. How can I? Okay, let me just refresh, or I can say I can remove this one. I can create one more time that task which is Azure App Service deploy, add it here, select this one, and then here I am going to use this subscription, or we already have connection. Okay, no, subscription. I'll say authorize. It's authorizing, you can see here. Come on, yeah. So app service type is this type, and then app service name is our weather service API. So it looks like it is now getting all the values that we said before. And virtual application deployed to slot or app service environment. What is virtual application? I don't know. Especially the name of the virtual application that has been configured in the Azure portal. The option is not required for deployment to the app service root. So we are not going to use any virtual folder or anything, because we are going to deploy directly to the root. And then this is important, package or folder, right? So it says that there is a default working directory, and there we have a zip file. Okay, so we'll click this browse button. This is easier. So it is now unable to find anything, because we never connected our build system with this CD. So we'll save this one, and whatever the settings we have by default, we'll take this one, and then this is saved, and we'll go again to pipeline, and then we'll add the artifact. Now in the artifact section, what we have is we have the build, and we need to select the whatever the CI we have, continuous integration, where we will get the build. So we'll select this one, and then it will also ask you, do you wanna take the latest build and this kind of thing, version. So we'll say yeah. You can even specify a specific version in order to deploy any backdated artifacts or anything. So I'll select this latest. And also important is this is the alias which is going to use, so you might need this one as well. So just add this one. Once it is added, save this one, and then go again here, because we also need to select this thing. So we need to select the package or folder, right? So you can select the package or the folder where you will have that particular package. So here you will see, since this is coming from from our CI, so you'll see there is actually no zip file. Okay, so this is a bit weird, because we need actually that zip package, and that zip package we need to select here, right? So if there is no zip package like this, then this is a bit problematic for us, but we'll try first. If it did not find that, if it doesn't find that, then probably we'll try to modify our CI so that it can use explicit zip task to zip all the artifacts that it's gonna provide at the end of the build system. So for now, I'm not going to do anything more. So let's just save it, and well, let me see what we have here more, but I guess I'm not gonna do anything here. So now, since this is saved, so what we are going to do now, so there is another option to schedule it. I mean, if you wanna have a nightly build, nightly deployment each night, you can configure that on. Or if you want to have each 4 hours, 5 hours, any schedule that you are going to take, you can take that on from here. So we are not going to enable for now, just to test, but I just give you that example so that you can use that on. So what we are going to do now is to, since this is ready, so we'll click this release, and then you will see there is no deployment. So create a release. Straight away we will create our release. So we have a production that we just created, CD, continuous delivery, and then we already have this artifact, right? So let's create and see what we get. So this is the release we just created in order to deploy our application. So let's go there, and let's, since this release is sort of manually triggered sort of thing, so you need to manually deploy. You can even configure your I told you before, schedule and things, but yeah, let's deploy and see if we manage to get that zip file from there. If not, then I'll actually create a zip file in our in a CI pipeline. Okay, so let's wait for a while. Probably I'll come back when it will start. Okay, you see here it is already starting now. Yeah, so you can see here it says explicitly that no package found with the specified pattern, right? So we need to think about this. How can we fix this one? So we need a zip file in order to be able to upload it. The artifacts is there, but it is somehow not getting that artifact. So let's jump into the pipeline and create or modify our pipeline a bit. So we'll say edit. You will see the YML file, and in the YML file I am going to copy paste something now. Okay guys, so here you can see I have added this task. This is called build artifact. So if you see here, okay, here copy and publish artifacts you can see, and you can actually select or configure, or you can actually directly modify your YML file. And the YML file, what I did is I created this task, I may name it that publish artifacts, and then in the input what I did is I use the path to publish. So this is a system variables. I use this build artifact staging directory. We'll know what is this directory means, and then we say artifact name drop and publish location container. Let's save it one more time. Once you save it, since this is a CI, right, you will see the things is already running now. So see here, this is already started. So every time if you have any developer who actually push some changes here, you will see it will automatically start. So now it is queued, and the job will start immediately starting. And now you will see it has extra tasks that we have added recently. You will see that task in the list. So this is this published build artifact. This is important because otherwise the the build or artifact is not published, therefore we are not going to get that. Awesome. So the NuGet command has executed. Now the build process is running. It is actually checking our solution, and it is building now. Okay, once the build is finished, it will publish our build artifacts. Let's wait for that. Okay, so the build and test is done, and now the publish artifact is also done. So see here the publish artifact. If you click here, then you'll see it is actually published, and what you will also further see is, if you go here, this job is successful, and if you click that job, right, and then you will see our artifact is straight away here. If you click that artifact, then you can actually browse your artifact, and you will see here, this is our weather api.zip file. Let's go here in the release section, because our zip content is ready. We'll go in the release section now. It was last time obviously failed. So what I need to do is I need to edit the pipeline, the CD pipeline, and then here, because previously it was not 100% successful, so here the package folder we could not find that on. So now we'll see there is a drop and there is a zip file. So we need this zip file, right? This zip file we need to publish. So we select the zip file here. What else we could do? We could actually select the folder only. That will also work, but you know, I mean, we really don't need that folder. We just need the zip file. So that's why I selected that zip file. I save that on, and now it should be fine. And we'll go here again, pipeline, and this artifact is also ready. We don't need to do anything here. Click the release, and this release was not a good release, so let me abandon that release, and I'm going to create a new release, and from the production CD, and yeah, create it, and let's jump into here and then deploy it manually like this. And we'll also show you how can we deploy it in a regular interval. That is, we just need to configure that scheduler. That's all. So now it is waiting in the deployment queue, and once it will start, we can straight away see the logs and everything here. Okay, probably I'll go a bit fast here. I'll come back when it will start. Oops, it's already started. Let's see how it goes now this time. Okay, so it's downloading the content. It is trying to connect to the remote server. You can see here it's trying to connect our app service, app weather service API. You can see here, and now it is trying to adding the different DLL files that we have. You can also see here adding file. So it looks like it is really working fine. So if it works, then yeah, our CD and CI configured. So now try to understand or imagine if you try to use Octopus or any other CI or CD, you know, application, then or TeamCity, whatever, then yeah, sometimes we found it a bit difficult, right? You might need to write a lot of PowerShell. You might need to do a lot of different configuration, different agent configuration, a lot of work, right? And here I found it really easy. So yeah, this is really amazing. See here, I have a complete successful release. Now what we can do is we can go here and we can check. That's why we open this one. So now we will go to the file system, and we will see if we have that content here or not. So in the www root, you will see here our application is deployed successfully. Now what we can do here, we can browse the application and see actually whether it works or not. So you can see this URL, click that one, and then we can say what is our endpoint. So our endpoint is weather forecast controller. So this is our controller, is basically weather forecast. So we need to put it here, and then we have a action method called get weather. Here we'll say our city Melbourne, and we'll enter that, and voila, you can see here the contents are coming. Another city I really want to use is Delhi is working as well. See here. So guys, that's all for today. I really hope that you understand the thing. At least, I mean, if you follow these steps, then you can easily configure your CI and CD in Azure DevOps. You really don't need to be very scared about that, because every time when we try to hear this thing DevOps, right, we sometimes, developers especially, got a bit scared. We thought, okay, this is something we might need to learn PowerShell, we might need to learn a lot of different scripting. No, if you try to use Azure DevOps, that's going to be very easy. Well, I mean, you might need to know a little bit different syntax. You might need to know the YML structure, what is the system variables and everything, but overall it would be really easy. So I think that's all, guys, and next video I'm going to show you how can we create our CI/CD for a Angular or React based application. Until then, have a good night and good day. See you then. Bye bye.